Bună ziua, doamnelor și domnilor! Bine ați venit la o nouă ediție a emisiunii ZF Investiții în România, realizată în parteneriat cu CEC Bank. Eu sunt Ali Ciudac, eu azi voi fi gazda dumneavoastră. Astăzi vom discuta cu doi antreprenori, unul dintre ei lider de piață, iar celălalt care construiește o afacere foarte interesantă. În prima parte a emisiunii vom discuta despre piața de amenajări interioare alături de COS, iar în a doua vom discuta despre fructe de pădure cu Abund Berry, o companie pe care o vedem din ce în ce mai des, atât la raft cât și în viețile noastre, în rafturile noastre, să vedem cum se dezvoltă acea firmă. Cum spuneam, în prima parte a emisiunii discutăm despre piața de amenajări interioare. Alături de noi este domnul Christophe, fondator și CEO al COS, Corporate Office Solutions. Hello, how are you, Mr. Weller?
Good afternoon, Alex. Very well, thank you.
It's nice to have you here again, like a year and a half after our last meeting. That was a moment when Sarmis Capital entered your company. I want to start the discussion at a general level. How is the market, the fit-out market in 2023?
2023. It started rather slowly in terms of activity, in terms of new opportunities. I would say the first 2-3 months. But then it's catching back, and we have seen now for 2 months a return of activity that is quite interesting, both in terms of new opportunities and in terms of actual works. So we're pretty optimistic for 23 in Bucharest, but also in fact a lot in the regions as well. So
how does the market of this year compares with last year?
Last year was quite interesting. It was like a recovery year after the pandemic. Companies wanted to revamp their offices, to move on, to welcome back their employees. So there was quite a lot of interesting projects. I said this year, I think there was an expectation of an economical crisis, so companies waited a bit. Also, January started very late due to holidays. It was a mix of expectation of crisis plus a slow of activity. But then, as I said, it's again better, and we're at the same level than last year at the moment. So quite comparable. But I need to separate two in a way. Bucharest, I feel there is less activity this year than last year. It's due to the lack of delivery of new buildings this year. While in the regions like in Iași, like in Timișoara, there has been quite a good amount of activity, new investors in new buildings. So that was quite interesting to witness.
Let's look at Iași or Timișoara, as you said. Who are the clients there? I mean, office, industrial. What are we talking about?
No, for us it's offices in Iași and Timișoara. It's in office buildings. It's IT companies. It's shared service centers. So a lot in the IT, a lot of in telecommunication. Industrial, we are less we're less in that sector. I would say Iași, definitely a bit in Timișoara, but for us it's mostly in offices and in the IT industry.
All right. So
you've seen, for instance, in Timișoara, we just finished the Access Group project in United Business Center in Timișoara, which is a great project we're very proud of. And in Iași, we just finished a project for AMD and for Visma as well. So, yeah, all related somehow to IT.
Do you see a change in the requirements of your clients on this IT side? They want something new from their office with this get back to the office trend we're seeing now?
Yes. Definitely the companies want to see their employee come back to the office. So they're really keen on creating an office that is more homey style, that where the employee will be able to feel good, feel a bit like at home, to collaborate with his colleagues in also some informal ways. So we have less and less these formal meeting rooms. It's more now informal with sofas and an environment that could remind them of home. So yeah, there is a change and a wish really to please their employees so that they come back. It's not easy. It's not at the expectation that every employer wants. but we feel the employees coming back. But it's going to have to be a change of in the mind of the employees. They have the key, and we believe that more and more they will want to come back to the office. But it will take 2-3 years to come back to a reasonable level, we think.
If we're talking numbers, how do you compare the first quarter of this year with the first quarter of last year?
In terms of revenue, for the moment, the first quarter is in fact quite equivalent to last year. It's due also to projects that we sign at the end of the year. So we're in the same trend in terms of revenue. We were hoping for more, but we think we'll catch back on the second quarter with the projects that are starting now. So optimistic, but yeah, no drastic evolution or change.
If you said that for Iași and Timișoara you have a pipeline of office projects for mainly IT companies, but other clients I understand, what's the situation in Bucharest? What pipeline do we see here? Do we see a pipeline of projects here?
There is a pipeline of projects that will happen later this year. Some major deals are on the go that they will be more concrete at the end of this year and in 24 in newish buildings. You have to see that in Bucharest you have about 130,000 square meters that will be delivered this year. This is not much when you have a total portfolio of 3.5 million square meters in one city. 130 doesn't add much, so it doesn't give much dynamics. But you still have 3-4 companies that are looking for 10,000 square meter, one for 20,000, that will provide some business opportunities. So in terms of pipeline, existing companies that are moving to bigger space, more modern space, it exists. We have a few new entries as well. They are not very numerous, but there are some as well. They're harder to detect, and they take 1,000 square meters, a bit less, so it's harder to detect, but it provides also a good pipeline. We're not back in the years before pandemic. 22 I felt more dynamic, but it's going to be still an okay pipeline for Bucharest. But again, we're being not many permits were approved to build. So again, 23 will not be with great deliveries. 24 even less, I think. But then we'll be back on 25 if permits will be allowed. But we feel more confident for 25 than for 24.
So in this context, what does this period, what does 2023 means for your company? It's a period of new business. It's a period of what does it mean for your company?
Well, for us, it means we need to continue some programs that we have launched in the past. We were quite keen on regionalization. We started 11 years ago to really be intentional with Cluj. We created an office. We opened it 7 years ago. We did Timișoara. So for us, the regions are quite key. And I was happy to see last year, I think it was 47% of our turnover was done in the regions, which is, we used to do 10%. But with 47%, it's an achievement, and we want to continue that. We believe in the development of cities because there are human resources in the third-tier cities. I don't like too much this term, but places like Brașov, like Craiova, Sibiu, other cities like that, we believe in them, and we want to be closer to them. So that would be one aspect. And this is this year we're doing even more. And also we are preparing ourselves more to tackle other sectors, like the healthcare, the education, the hospitality. I believe these sectors will provide us more business opportunities and will help us to balance somehow the lack of or less office project availability. So diversification in other sectors with our products and solutions, regionalization, focus also on our centers like Masia and Stables, which are research centers for us. We could call them also co-workspace, serviced office, We have launched this in the past 2 years, and we would like to develop them even further. This is also an activity that we are keen.
I am not sure I know the project. Can you give us more details about this last part?
Well, in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, we opened in Cluj a serviced office of 1,000 square meters, where not only we have our showroom, but we also host companies who are renting the place per office, and also our meeting room and training room. So this was very successful. Right now it's 96% full, so it's full in fact. And we have the same idea for Bucharest, and 1 month ago we opened a place called Masia, which is a 3,000 square meter space where we also have our own team on about 700 square meters, and the rest is also rentable per offices of 5-6 persons, plus a larger events room. This is where we had our 25th anniversary party last night, by the way.
Where is this located, Masia?
It's located at the Miro office building. It's in Băneasa, vis-à-vis Băneasa Mall.
Okay.
Last time we talked 1 year and a half ago, we were like 500 meters away from this place today. We were at Victoria Business Center. Here now we're at Miro. It was developed by Speedwell.
All right, so it's the move of the COS in the Speedwell project that you announced earlier last year, right?
Exactly, we announced it last year. We moved quite early in order to vacate the space where we were before, because there was a tenant interested. So we moved quite quickly, but it took us time to finish it, and also to be ready with the serviced office that we have. So now it's open.
Now you're saying that you want to do this more often, like take a space, make the fit out, and then lease it further?
Yeah, because it's for us the opportunity to show our solution on a much bigger space, and also to have it as a research center. Because what we do, we invite our potential clients to test the furniture if they wish to stay 1 week in our office, test the furniture, test the environment, also learn more how they work, so we can provide a better solution for their own office. Otherwise, it works as well as a co-work space. A company will rent it for 6 months, for 1 year, for 2 years, and they can have like that. Office is fully serviced with great furniture, great environment. So this is something we'd like to repeat in the regions as well more. So we've done Cluj first. It was a great success. Now Bucharest. So we're looking at other opportunities, other towns where such place is needed. And we believe we have some cases as targets, and hopefully we'll be able to announce furthermore in the next few months, but it's early stage yet.
All right.
Because that's quite an investment as well, so we need to be really careful.
All right, just to clarify a number that you gave us earlier when you spoke about regionalization, you said that 47% of your revenue came last year from the region, not from Bucharest, right?
Yes.
And you said that earlier this percent was at 10%. Earlier means 2021 or much earlier?
No, I'm talking about 5 years ago. We started regionalization 11 years ago. It took a while. Sometimes it was 10, then 15%. When we did Amazon about 5 years ago in Iași, obviously it was also more important, but I would say the average has been 10 to 15%. But now we see the drastic change. We see also the number of opportunities in the pipeline. And I must say, like, half is Bucharest and Ilfov, and the other half is the rest of Romania. But I believe it will take even more space. The regions are quite a good place for the future for our activity. In terms of fit out and supplying furniture and flooring solutions, having some centers like serviced office will make the regions a bigger share of our activity. I'm confident.
All right, so Mr. Weller, now I want to talk about, it's been over a year since Sarmis Capital took a majority stake in COS, in the company you've built for almost 3 decades now. What can you tell us? What are the results until now of the joining of Sarmis Capital and know-how in your business?
Well, the impact was quite fast to happen in terms of working on the structure of the company, on the procedures. You know, it gives a potential for growth, for sure. But to grow, you need to be ready. And we were an entrepreneurial company. We were growing organically, so organized in a certain way. With Samis, it gives us the opportunity really to grow ourselves quicker by acquisitions, by partnerships. So, but we need to be ready for that. So the human structure of the company, the way we work, the way the finances are managed, analyzed, digitalization rised as well. We change our CRM, we change our accounting software as well. So really to get up to speed with all the most modern digital tools. So it is quite a change when you're an old entrepreneurial company with an entrepreneur at its head, and to become corporate, still entrepreneurial, but with the corporate profile, it needs changing inside the company. So we have worked a lot on that. As I said, digitalization, structuring, and also bringing ideas on how to grow with what type of acquisition. So for the moment, after 1 year and a half, it's really internal changes to become even stronger. We feel stronger in terms of organization, in terms of financials. We know better where we stand. So I think this is already a great step for us, and it gives us the strengths, the strong pillars to further growth with developments. And also a company like Samis are looking at other acquisitions, so acquisitions with cost or besides cost. And they have in mind really to build a portfolio of companies that are quite connected to the office environment or in fact spaces in terms of fitting out like us. It could be in terms of equipping it with digital tools or softwares. It can be about maintenance of buildings or spaces. So they are really looking at building a group of companies that will be quite connected together, that will have a synergy. And for me, it's an opportunity, a further opportunity of growth.
But through COS, have you bought any company since the entrance of Samis?
Not yet. We were not ready. We needed to be. We have ideas of what to do. I think I mentioned it in the past. We're really strong in. We strongly believe that manufacturing our own custom-made furniture should be an asset we should have in our portfolio, because we do a lot of it. And even last year we did about 3 million euros of custom-made furniture, and I think we could do even more if it was under our wing. So
3 million euro, and it's not your business, it's the business of your partners, this 3 million euro, right?
3 million euro, it's us selling to the market and not purchasing to partners that we have here. But yeah, when I mentioned 3 million, it's a turnover that I did in our own revenue. I don't know how much it means for our partners, but not too far. Because, yeah, margins that we can do at this stage with them is not as big as obviously if we could do manufacture ourselves.
So when will we see COS acquiring a production capacity for custom-made furniture?
I think it's hard to say, but I really hope within a year and a half that will be done. There are some discussions happening. I cannot say more. But discussions have happened in the past, are still happening. It's a long process. We need to find the right partner with the right ambition, because it's going to be also another entrepreneur who has his own views, his own dreams, and we need to align. And it's not so easy. But for the moment, we're happy with the partners we have. We have 5 to 7 companies we're working quite closely to, and that we're happy to collaborate with. But hopefully one of them will make a step towards us or will agree with us.
Have you entered on the residential market?
No, and that would be only if we have this capacity of manufacturing furniture. I cannot enter it. I wouldn't be competitive enough. I wouldn't be in control enough to attack the residential market. But residential, we are trying to look at it as well, because a lot of home offices have been happening, obviously, through the pandemic and afterwards with the hybrid. So we're trying to tackle this market as well, but that would be through platforms in order to sell to a more larger consumer market. But that's the only, as far as we've been so far.
We've had here in our show this week a company from the real estate market, a broker from the real estate market, who told us that there are projects in Bucharest that investors want to buy, like office boutique projects, 1,000, 2,000 square meters, and turn them into residential projects. Is it expensive to make a transformation? Because I don't know if it's a fit out or a real transformation from office to residential. But my question to you as an expert is it expensive to turn a project from office to residential?
That's a good question. We're not doing this because it's turning into residential. It's a domain we have not been into. I thought you might say, does it cost much to change an office space into a new office space, more homey style? That I could tell you it will depend of the state of the space, but we are counting between 400 to 800 euros a square meter approximately. To change it into residential, it must be a little bit more than that. It depends how luxurious you want to make it. But yeah, it's a good idea, and indeed needs of quality residentials, more in central Bucharest, should work well. But it will need quite investment. But there, I'm not specialist enough, so I don't want to give figures like that without knowing.
All right, I will come back with the question maybe next year if you acquire capacity and you enter the residential market, and maybe you'll have a better view on these costs, and we can talk about that. Now I want to go back to what you're doing now. In our last interview, you told us that you want to enter hospitals, hotels, and schools. Have you accessed projects in these areas until now?
Well, we did work, and it's almost finished, the Marie Curie Hospital by Dariusz Viața. And that was a great experience. It is still a great experience, and we were happy to deliver such quality products in a healthcare environment, and it makes us believe we have the solution. So we're working right now on expanding them, on formalizing them. Because healthcare exists, we need really to formalize it and to be more intentional about it. It's also a sector that is quite hard to penetrate, and we need to make the right connection. So we're working on that. So I'm really going for it. Education, we had a few projects of schools. We worked with the German school. We worked with the American school. We keep working with the French school. So school and universities, for instance, Babeș-Bolyai in Cluj is a great client. We have done also here at ACE, a part of the university that was sponsored by Accenture. That's a great project. So, but the opportunities are still rare, but we're following them up because there is really a lot to do there, and hopefully there will be more investments into modernizing the education tool. On hospitality, we worked with the Radisson hotels, both Bucharest and Brașov. But we would like also to do more. So we're still at an early stage. We're learning and we're adapting ourselves. We know we have a good amount of products possible for these sectors, but we need to even enlarge it, and also to be, intentional by getting all the right connections. But it's definitely for us a way to go. On top of also many industrial developments in the regions as well, quite some higher profile ones, and we're following them up. So also industrial sector, we need to keep a good eye on it.
All right, Mr. Weller, we have just 2 or 3 more minutes, but I want to ask you some more questions. What are the revenues that you're projecting for the final of this year, and how did you end it 2022?
Okay. In 2022, we reached about 28 million euros. That was a 30% increase from 21. That was a year with was difficult right after the pandemic, and where everybody was quite static. For 23, we hope an increase of about 12%. In fact, we were hoping for 33 million turnover.
All right. How many employees do you have?
Well, we have right now 112 at the last count, which is quite a big number. And moreover, when you count in 25 years, I was saying last night, we started 5, when 112 for our activity of a design and build company who was trying to incorporate all type of works from design to completion, and to have all the people on board in terms of management, in terms of design. It's a big number, 112. But we are very happy to be all these teams in order to service at best our clients.
And besides the Romanian market, are you working on the international market as well?
Well, not yet. Not yet. It's we have opportunities. So we did some projects around, even in Cyprus, but it's not yet something that is recurrent in our business. So there is a wish to become international, but again, we transform COS step by step, stronger, covering well also Romania. Once we do that well, we go abroad. We had some touch with companies around, like in Bulgaria, interested. We're collaborating for the moment. Maybe the connection will get stronger, because it's a wish as well to be international. And if we have some production facility even in Romania, that could be also give it a boost by being international.
All right. So you're now in a moment when you're transforming the company and you're getting ready for to better cover the national market, and then to attack the international market once the national market is well covered, right?
Indeed, and it's also well covered, and we're strongly structured in order to grow that much. Because if you want to do well abroad, you need to be also ready and to have the structure behind. We're not far from it, but it needed consolidation, and I'm confident now we're reaching it.
And the last question is, how big is your investment budget for this year, and what's in it?
For 23?
Yes.
We invested a lot in 22. So for 23, we are working on the consolidation. 22 was about building Masia, our new office in Bucharest, 3,000 square meters, was about digitalization. So we had also a budget for that. We're spending it, and we're spending in 22 and still in 23. So this year was, we didn't have major investments, but we're planning for the next years. Said we're looking at expanding the service office concept in other cities, growing some of the showrooms. So for the moment, so it's a bit of a transitional year in 23 in terms of investment, if you say.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing what's COS doing right now and what are your plans. I hope we'll talk again maybe next year, or maybe close to the final of this year, to see what are your plans further and where is the market going.
Very happy to do so. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Aceasta a fost prima parte a emisiunii de astăzi. După o scurtă pauză vom reveni aici în studio să discutăm despre fructe de pădure, despre cum merge această piață împreună cu Abundberry. Vă aștept!